This is Alyssa with Scrappy T Lee, who this horse is just growing on me and growing on me. And I've sort of given him to Alyssa as her project to bring along, and she's doing a fantastic job. And every time I see this horse go, I like him more. So today was his introduction to jumping. So basically poles and small fillers and some cross rails. And I always like to start by letting them walk over stuff. So he's just having a little walk over some poles to get started, and there he has the right idea about things. So already off to a good start. So this is a 16-hand 4-year-old by Frisian Fire, and he's out of a two-punch mare. And he's lightly raced. I believe he only had 6 starts and quite non-competitive, especially this year. No placings, and so just obviously time for him to go find another career. Luckily for his next career, he's going to make a phenomenal little sport horse because he has an exceptionally lovely canter, amazing brain and temperament, just super, super Amy friendly. He's light. He wants to make the correct shape. I just think that he is all the things that make a horse easy to bring along, both developmentally and mentally, because he's just so chill. And what I really like about this jump school today with Alyssa is just how smooth it is. Obviously he makes, I'm not even going to call them mistakes. He's just learning the footwork. So sometimes the footwork isn't quite right, but he has a great ability to quickly sort it out without getting mentally frazzled at all. And then he just comes right back around, does it again. He always learns from what happened the previous time and does it better. And he just never seems anything but relaxed to me through this whole process. So that's really what I like about it. He's just smooth and he's relaxed. And that's really what I want as I get these guys going jumping. We don't want them to think this is anything to be anxious or adding tension to. And it also doesn't help that he has just an exceptionally uphill balance canter. It's not, he's not like obviously he's not a huge moving horse, but that actually makes him more amateur friendly because he's not going to bounce you out of the saddle. He's not going to land in some, massive stride or, land and buck or do anything like that. He's just very self-contained. He's a cute mover with a great canter, but he's not some powerful, huge moving horse that anybody's going to find intimidating. I think he gives a very safe feeling. Oh my God, he's so cute. I did not expect Alyssa to go from the ground poles to the bigger flower box with flowers on it, but she's been riding him and she's very confident with him, and he just did that so adorable and cute. I actually thought she was going to the coop, but whatever, it doesn't matter. He was excellent. That was an adorable first jump. I think he has a great little expression on his face. Super straight, super rideable, great canter transition. Some horses are just easy, and this is just an easy horse. And I will take that over big fancy any day. Just a nice, easy horse that's willing to learn. So there, they obviously tried to come in the canter. Well, they did come in the canter. The distance wasn't quite right. He easily could have ducked right, especially because there's no standard there, and he was a little bit not quite straight. But instead of ducking right, he figured out his footwork real quick and popped over it, and that is the type of effort that I really love to see. So obviously now we're going to come back around again and try and do it a little straighter, maybe get a little bit better distance, but they have to learn to jump out of every distance. So if you're overprotecting them with always getting a perfect distance, you're actually, I think, doing them a little bit of a disservice because they need to learn to jump out of distances that are difficult and not quite right. And that was much better. And obviously he was completely unfazed by the time before. The one thing I did keep talking to Alyssa about was, he's so relaxed, which is great. I would always rather them be so relaxed versus the opposite of tension. But the one thing I kept saying to her was like, keep coming with intention, keep powering him over because he's just jumping so relaxed that if anything, he has a little bit of a tendency to balloon a little bit in the air and then land with less power. And this was hilarious if you noticed what just happened there. He popped over the box in the center line perfectly. And then I don't know if Alyssa meant to canter over those poles, but they did. And it was great and balanced and lovely. So good boy. Can't even be bothered to make a jumping effort over the coop. That is just fine. Very cute. I have a little mini hogsback oxer set up down at that corner of the ring with my little cavaletti blocks. And actually, that's a really hard place to jump on the center line because you're right next to the gate. So, of course, with a green horse, you're always going to get the pull of the outside shoulder towards the gate. But she did a great job of keeping him straight over it. And he was obviously just very willing and honest type of horse. There we go. That was a little bit better effort. And so the whole time to that, I was just like telling Alyssa, kick, keep coming, land cantering. You just have to. He's definitely a horse that takes leg. He's not going to go any faster than you would like him to go. Good boy. That's quite a hard turn. It's actually harder, I think, to jump it in that direction towards the gate. So that was quite good. Oh, that was so cute. What a good boy. And I just love this canter that he always lands in. Even if the distance is a trickier, non-perfect spot, he always seems to just land in this very soft, easygoing canter. And that was a really nice effort that he made over that jump on the center line. Super cute to his flower boxes back the other way. Just adorable. I think we had made a couple of things cross rails at this point. Yeah, we set up a couple little cross rails, so this was his grand finale. Super good boy. He has a great attitude about all the things. So now they're coming back to the coop. This time the coop has an X behind it, so it's a little bit different than the last time he saw it. But he was great. He definitely, I thought, took a little bit of a peek at it, but he was never not going. And there's nothing wrong with horses looking at things as long as they keep their feet moving, which he's more than happy to do. I watch this horse go around and I just think to myself, it really doesn't get much easier than this. And that was such a cute effort he made that time. He's just, I think the right word for him is he's just so rideable. Now he's probably had 6 or 7 post track rides, and the horse is just so darn rideable on the flat, over jumps. He's brave, he's willing, he's relaxed. There's a lot to be said for being rideable. That was so cute. So that was his grand finale. Super good boy.